Hello there! If you're new here, I'm Miriam and this is my gaming perspective. I know most of you gamers out there must be familiar with the Japanese culture, which is where the majority or most of your beloved games come from. But are you familiar enough with it that you recognize its presence in your beloved games? Today, that's what we are going to be looking at. 5 different aspects of the Japanese culture we can find in video games, and in particular, in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm not talking about the obvious stuff such as furniture you can buy or recipes you can craft. I'm talking about small details you can see in the different shops that are actually part of the Japanese culture. The first item I want to look at is the one you're seeing on your screens right now. This is called a money tray, or at least I know for a fact that it's a money tray. What is a money tray, you ask? Well, in Japanese stores, whenever you go there and shop for something, for different items, when you go to the cashier, instead of handing her or him the money, what you have to do is leave your money in that little square money tray so that they can pick it up easily. That is the purpose of the money tray. It helps you and the cashier to keep all the money in one small space so that the coins don't go flipping around the place. And they fall to the ground and then you have to bend down and pick them up and we know that dealing with coins is a pain in the ass, to be honest. It's a pain in the ass. Have you never had the problem when you dropped one coin to the floor, you bent down to pick it up and then you couldn't? Because your nails weren't long enough, maybe? I don't know, you would just spend hours and hours trying to pick up the damn coin and then just give up because it's not worth the trouble, it's just one coin. But yeah, so that's the purpose of the money tray, and you can find this all over Japan in all of its stores. And it's really funny because when you go into Nook's Cranny, you can see that in the cashier area of Nook's Cranny, there is a little blue money tray where you can put your bells there. Of course, you never get to put your bells there, but it's a really cute detail. The next item I want to talk about is something we have not yet seen in our video game. It's coming later this May, and that is the Stump Rally, I believe it's called. You see, when International Museum Day comes, we are going to be able to collect stamps in Blathers Museum. I don't know how we're going to collect those stamps, but what interests me here is the stamp table. And that stamp table really resembles the ones you can find all over the train stations in Japan. In Japan, collecting stamps is a hobby. There are a lot of people out there who have stamp books and they collect their stamps religiously. That's why stamps are so common there. You can find them in shrines, you can find them in train stations, you can find them in shops. They are everywhere, literally. For example, last year when I went to Japan in summer, in their train stations they were having a stamp rally where you could collect stamps in each train station, but they were not normal stamps. They were Pokemon stamps, and you basically had to collect them all, of course. So yeah, they're really crazy about stamps. So it comes as no surprise to me that they would add stamps to their game. And literally, the stamp table you see in the trailer Nintendo showed us weeks ago, it's the same as the ones you could find in Japanese train stations. The table there, a sign that tells you that you can get stamps there, and the stamps themselves. Another item I want to talk about is one that we can also see in Nook's Cranny, and that is the paper spike. I don't know if this is common in other countries, but the first time I saw it was in Japan. And this paper spike is also in the majority of the shops there. And what you do is, when you buy something, you get 2 receipts. One for the cashier and the other one for the customer. So the cashier, of course, keeps their receipt. Sometimes they don't. But usually they keep their receipt. And what they do in Japan is put all these receipts in a paper spike so that they can organize them there better. And that's what I saw in Nook's Cranny. In Nook's Cranny, I believe it's more in the updated Nook's Cranny, you can see near the money tray a paper spike for the receipts. And this paper spike only has 1 receipt, but yeah, for the receipts. The next thing I want to talk about is not an item itself. It's more of a stylistic design of Nook's Cranny Level 1. When you enter Nook's Cranny without it being updated or something like that, you can see on the left side of the store that there is like a small window or small space where there should be maybe a door. But instead of that, we have a cloth that is covering half of that space. And we also have some sort of
One eternity later.
some sort of fence. And if you have ever watched Japanese anime or movies or old traditional documentaries or something like that, you would realize that that is very Japanese. The cloth covering half of the door and all that. That is very common in Japanese shops and even in their houses. Don't ask me why, but I think that in the majority of cases, Japanese people have always preferred to use clothes as a way of separation instead of doors. But I'm not the expert here about that fact. I haven't analyzed why Japanese people use clothes in that way. The last thing I want to talk about is related to an item, but it's not about that item itself. It's about how you use the item in the game, and that's the pillows. There is a kind of furniture that you can buy which are pillows. And I don't know about you guys, but usually in the West, I think pillows are used in beds, sofas, maybe chairs, but that's all about it. You don't put them on the floor. You usually never put pillows on the floor, but Japanese people use the floor for sitting. They like to sit down on the floor. Whenever you go to a traditional Japanese restaurant, maybe they'll make you sit down on the floor because they have pillows there on the floor for you to sit down, and they have this traditional way of sitting in the floor, which actually means correct way of sitting down. As you can see, you have the kanjis here, you have the correct way of sitting down. And they love to sit on the floor. And I personally believe that is really comfortable if you have a pillow there. If you have a pillow there or a floor chair where you can sit on. So that is the reason why I believe that the pillows in this game are not for you to put them on chairs, beds or sofas. Because for Japanese people, sitting on the floor is as natural as breathing. And those were the 5 items related to Japanese culture I noticed when I played Animal Crossing New Horizons. What do you guys think? Do you have these items or these ways of living in your countries? Or is it just Japan that has them? I would like for you guys to let me know down in the comments below and tell me what your thoughts are on it. Also, if you have liked this video, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment down below, as I already told you, and click on the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos in the future. I'll see you in the next video.